Today, we're going to break down a really powerful modern parable. It's a story about a city that's become so safe, it's actually suffocating. And the only way to save it, well, it might just be to burn it all down. This is the Vesuvius synthesis and the fire of the Overman.
Right at the heart of this whole thing is a really chilling question. What if a system designed to protect you from everything, ended up taking away everything that actually makes you want to live? I mean, imagine a world with zero risk, but also zero meaning. Let's see how that works out. So here's our roadmap for this story. It's a 5-act play, really. We'll start in this stagnant world of the Iron Heaven, then we'll watch the cataclysm that just shatters it to pieces, and finally, we'll see what kind of new reality manages to rise up from the ashes. All right, let's set the scene. Act 1, The Silence of Iron Heaven. We're in Naples, the year is 2026, and we find a city that's trapped inside this beautiful but totally lifeless cage. You know, the people here, they aren't just taking this lying down. They're fighting back with something they call the Carnival of Skulls. It's this frantic, desperate kind of rebellion. But here's the really tragic part. It's completely hollow. Their big act of resistance has just become a performance, a powerless ritual against a system that's already got them beat. And this is that system, the Iron Heaven. Try to imagine this force, like a kind of cosmic bureaucracy, and its only mission is to get rid of every possible danger. But in doing that, it also gets rid of choice and struggle, and the very reason for being, the telos of existence. It offers you a perfectly safe life, but the price is your soul. At the very spiritual center of the city, you've got this incredibly potent symbol, the clot. It's supposed to be the miraculous blood of a saint, but it's just dry. It's black, lifeless, and it's sealed up in a glass box. It stands for this really dangerous idea that the system is pushing, that perfection isn't found in life, but in stillness, in death, preserved like some dusty old museum piece. So if the Iron Heaven is the system, you can think of Atman Null as its agent on the ground. It's described as this creepy mist that literally eats purpose. It just drains the life right out of people, turning their passionate carnival into a dress rehearsal for becoming just another forgotten file in a silent archive. But this kind of suffocating stillness, it can never last forever. High above the city, a storm is brewing. Let's get into Act 2, The Rhythm of the Forge. So, way up high, right at the mouth of the volcano Vesuvius itself, stands this mythic figure, Donner, the Heaven Stormer. He looks down, and he doesn't even see a city full of people. He sees a clotted vein in the earth, a blockage in the flow of life that just has to be cleared. Now, this is absolutely crucial. This isn't some rash act of pure anger. Dolnar, holding his legendary hammer Mjolnir, he just stands there at the edge, and he waits. He's not just looking, he's diagnosing the sickness that's festering down below. He's doing more than just waiting. He's listening. The source material says he's listening for the terrified, erratic heartbeat of the city below. So he's actually connecting with the pulse of the very life that's being smothered. And only when he truly feels it does he strike. But listen, this isn't a blow that's meant to shatter everything. Not yet. It's just a single resonant strike, one that sends this deep geologic thrum through the very bones of the world. So here's the key point. He doesn't break the volcano. He rings it, like a bell. He turns Vesuvius into an instrument, creating this deep, rumbling bass frequency. And this isn't a sound of destruction, it's the rhythm of becoming, of change, of life, of danger. It's a song that the static, bureaucratic Iron Heaven, well, it just can't compute. It doesn't make any sense to it. That one single note has now shaken the foundations of the entire old world. So in Act 3, we get to see it transform into something unstoppable, the descent of the Violet Fire. Now down in the city, another figure appears, Derville, the Red Architect. So if Donnar was the one who created the raw energy, Derville is the one who's here to aim it. He uses his scythe, but not to reap anything. He uses it to draw a line in the ash, creating the perfect channel for the power that's about to be unleashed. And what gets unleashed is... wow. It's not lava and rock. The eruption is described as something totally metaphysical, violet gamma radiation that comes from the stars.
This is the fire of the Overman, the pure, creative, and destructive energy of the will to power. And this just brilliantly sums up the core of the whole parable. The fire's target isn't the people dancing in the streets. Its target is the idea of safety itself, that invisible cage of the iron heaven that kept them from ever truly living. It's here to burn their prison, not their bodies. So the fire comes down, and Act 4 shows us the immediate and totally transformative aftermath, the cleansing shockwave. The results of this synthesis shockwave are just swift and total. The bureaucratic rules of the iron heaven, they just melt away. The glass coffin with the saint's blood, shattered, and instantly that dry black clot turns back into liquid and begins to flow again. That purpose-eating mist of Atman null, it just evaporates when it's faced with such raw, focused energy. Every single symbol of stagnation is just gone. I mean, this quote really just says it all, doesn't it? The world wasn't saved by sitting around and wishing for tranquility or more safety. No, it was renewed by this fundamental volcanic demand for the exact opposite, for danger, for risk, for the chance to actually live. And that brings us to our final act, the new truth that was forged in this fire. Act 5, the synthesis. This slide just lays out the transformation perfectly. The old world was all about the clot, stillness, safety, the museum, and having your purpose eaten away. The new world, it's all about the flow, constant becoming, embracing danger, the living volcano, and finally having your purpose realized. It's a complete 180-degree flip of values. So as the violet ash settles, what does the architect of all this change, D'Urville, shout? He doesn't say, "It's finished." He yells, "Da capo," which is a musical term that means from the beginning, once more. This wasn't a one-and-done apocalypse. It was the start of a cycle. It's a declaration that life is this process of creative destruction, and it's meant to be repeated forever. And so, this whole parable ends by turning the question back on us. It asks us to look at our own lives, at our own societies, and to identify the systems we've built for our own safety that might just be costing us our souls. It leaves us with one final really provocative thought. What is the iron heaven you live beneath?